Welcome back, ranchers, to the Ranch of Rivershine. I hope you're having a way better day than I am because I ran into a big audio issue whilst recording my gameplay. My microphone just decided to take the day off without telling me, so I had to work extra hard whilst editing to salvage what I could. But regardless, let's get writing. We're on day 7 of spring, and George and Aisha, the farmer, mailed us 2 simple quests today. George needed us to deliver some oats, while Aisha wanted to teach us how to use the garden, which I thought was a pretty interesting quest because we technically could use the garden from the beginning of the game, and to teach it to us now, I thought was a bit strange. But I suppose this must be for people that may have not even have noticed the garden. While cleaning up my horses for the day, I noticed Coffee Bean's mane and tail finally started to grow out. And my gosh, she's starting to look so beautiful with her long, luscious locks. I can't wait to see her with the fully grown out mane and tail because I personally really loved the really grown out look. After cleaning up both horses for the day, I then rode out on Chief because I wanted to train him up a little bit whilst finishing today's quests. We had extra oats on hand when we visited George, so I managed to finish his task on the spot and earned $900, which went straight to the bank. Chief and I then rode out to Aisha, who gave us a quick rundown on how the garden worked, handed us a bunch of seeds to use, and then completed her quest, which actually left us with a lot of time to really do whatever we wanted. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting to have so much free time on day 7, but I can't complain and I'm not going to complain because it means we just have more time to do things. I rode Chief over to the maze again because I wanted to see if we could find more apples around the fountain, just like last time. And lo and behold, we did find more, so this is definitely going to be a hotspot if I ever need apples in a pinch. We continued to ride around Lupine Meadow, picking up any forageables until Chief's stamina started to run out. And while training him around the field, I tried to explore some of the corners around the map to see if maybe there were some other hidden spots with forageables like the maze, but I didn't run into anything. Maybe we missed a couple of spots, but the meadow is huge, we've got plenty of days to explore, so if we find it, we'll find it. But if we don't, no harm, no foul. After we went home, I actually saw a notice board in our stable, which I'd never seen before, and I've no idea if it's been here the whole time. When I looked at it, it was actually a menu that showed us the status of all our stabled horses and the stalls that they are in. This is going to be so useful when we have more horses to play with because it looks like we can actually change which stalls our horses are in. So when we've got more stalls to play with, maybe we can rearrange our horses, put the ones that we're training up front, have the fully trained ones at the back, that kind of business, or, always making sure that your favorite horses are in the first 2 stalls. I'm super excited once we do have access to a larger stable, but until then, I'm kind of happy with my 2 stalls. After saddling up Coffee Bean, we rode out into town, and since Coffee Bean was now fully trained, she was the perfect competition and exploration horse. Because she's running around and doesn't actually have any potential to use for her stats, she doesn't eat up her stamina anymore unless we compete with her. So we're going to have access to a lot of stamina for exploration in the future. But for today was going to be competition day. I wanted to save up some money for any big purchases that we might have to make in the future, which I know is definitely going to happen. So we actually decided to enter the competition twice. At the same time as well, Chief and I already foraged the meadow, so there was no reason to bring Coffee Bean out there again, because what else was there to pick up? We ran the Rivershine beginner course twice, which net us a nice $2,250, which again, straight to the bank for our next big purchase. And at the same time, we actually broke Coffee Bean's personal best, which is huge! I'm so proud of the work we put into her and all of her efforts whilst training. With all that said and done, I put Coffee Bean and Chief to bed after the day had ended, and it was time to get ready for the next day. On day 8, we get 2 quests in our letterbox. One from Madeline talking about a second horse, and another from River who wants to teach us how to improve our horse's training. Whatever that means. I clean up the horses, then tack up Coffee Bean first to complete our errands for the day. We visit River first, who gives us a quick lesson on the benefits of grain and how we can train certain stats quicker with them. She generously gives us one of each before we bid her farewell. Madeline also gives us a quick lesson about the auction house and how we should get another horse. Little does she know we already own 2. After talking to her, I actually checked out her shop again because she hasn't sold anything until now. And wow, she actually sells stuff now! Well, horse vendor slots. If you didn't know, the auction house can only show you a limited number of horses every day. If you buy Madeline's upgrade, we can increase the number of horses that appear in the auction house, which means more options for rarer coats and higher stats. I bought the first upgrade because it was so cheap, and when we decide to buy a new horse, we'll at least have more options to pick from. I'm going to skip out on the second upgrade because 6,000 was a little too dear. Next, I ride over to the auction house because I wanted to see what was on the market. Unfortunately, because we've maxed out on horses, I couldn't browse anything. I did, however, find out that Chief was worth a bit over $6,000, which was quite surprising since we bought him for $3,000. And I haven't even finished training him yet. I finished up 2 competitions with Coffee Bean for more money, then sent her home to rest. After taking Chief out, I check his stats and see we're almost done training him. We worked a lot to build up his stamina, so I figured it was time to enter him into the Lupine Meadow comp for his second blue ribbon. Before that though, I wanted to finish up the rest of his training, so I ride over to River to buy some more training courses. I pick up the beginner country barrels and the intermediate cavaletti course since we had a lot of money to spare. To my horror, I found out Chief couldn't jump the intermediate course. And it was at this moment I really considered selling Chief. If he wasn't going to be able to jump intermediate, he was going to eventually hog one of my 2 stable slots, and I knew Coffee Bean is not being sold anytime soon. We enter the comp first to get that out of the way, and boy did Chief impress me. His stamina held up quite well and he finished first with a pretty great time too. After the comp, I made up my mind. I rushed home to swap Chief out for Coffee Bean and had to race against daylight to get to the auction house before it closed. We literally made it with a second to spare. It was time to let Chief go. He was a fantastic horse, but I needed to eventually move on to my next project horse. Surprisingly, his value went from $6,000 to $7,000 just from getting his second blue ribbon. At the auction, he did so well as well. He was auctioned off at $8,000. In the few days we had him, we managed to almost triple his value. It just goes to show that training and selling horses really do pay off here. With Chief gone and an empty stable slot, it was time to find a new project horse to work on. And of the 11 horses at the auction, I actually passed on everyone. The last horse threw me for a loop and I almost bid on it because of its really flashy badger face. I sort of regret not bidding on a horse, but it'll be okay. We can try again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching this episode, everybody. If you're enjoying the series so far, please leave a like and subscribe to receive notifications for my future uploads. And if you liked this style, let me know in the comments below and maybe we can switch things up every now and again. For now, I hope you all have a wonderful week and I'll see you next time. Bye!